Hey y'all, and welcome back to We Seek Summits. Today we are jumping into another oil on our A to Ylang Ylang series, and today we get to talk about Clary Sage. Clary Sage. So this oil, I have to admit, I have not looked into that much, mainly because I just wrote it off as a women's thing kind of oil. Everything I heard about with Clary Sage was always women this and women that. So it's actually
that's how men write off a lot of stuff. Oh, it's a women's thing.
Yeah.
It's a female thing.
So it's been really interesting diving into the chemistry of this oil and actually learning. One, there's another use we'll get into for Clary Sage of how we use it, but also there are some applications for men. As well, so it's not just
a women's thing. And I actually was kind of interested too, because you do hear the Clary Sage is phenomenal for female hormone, menstruation, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, men have hormones too, and kids and all that. Does it have to be just a women's thing? So no, it does not. Clary Sage is a great oil.
It is. It is. But specifically on the hormonal side, Clary Sage targets balancing estrogen in the body.
Yeah.
So since females have more estrogen, they're obviously going to benefit from that specific application of Clary Sage. But what was interesting, where it got its name from, Clary, coming from the Latin meaning clear, is that old monks and stuff used to use it to support like cataracts and clear the eyes. So Clary Sage.
And French clair. So they would use it a lot for eye health.
Yeah, for eye health. So there you go.
So where does it come from?
So this, it's a flowering plant. It's a flowering herb from the
straggly
sage
shrub. It's in the salvia family.
Yeah, the sage family.
Sage.
Grows pretty big. I think we read like 5-6 feet tall, so it's a big plant. And then they harvest the flowering stems and put the flowers, leaves, stems all through the steam distillation process. And
so it's a little bit unique in that it's a flower, so it is lumped in with the florals, but they also do those some of the leaves as well. So the smell of it is really interesting.
Right, you don't just get those flower notes, you also get a woodsy.
Yes, it's kind of herbaceous, very fragrant. It's not just floral. And so it balances really well with a lot of other oils.
Yeah.
Okay, and then doTERRA comes from France.
It does.
So it's European.
And that's where the plant's native, is kind of that Mediterranean area, Northern Africa, Southern Europe. So France is where we get Clary Sage from. And what's really interesting too is this plant is quite sensitive to its climate. So we were reading like if it goes through a period of drought, the plant's actually going to create a lot more monoterpenes. And so when you get the essential oil from the plant, you're going to see more monoterpenes in that chromatogram. But the main constituent that people talk about with Clary Sage is
the linalool and
linalool
acetate.
Acetate.
I'm learning.
which is an ester, and those esters are usually found in flowering oils. But interesting enough, this compound is very good for skin and for hair. So
lots of the florals, like the florals in general, I think very good for the integumentary system, the skin, hair, nails. Very good for emotional balance as well.
Yes. Very good.
Okay, so as we were looking, this is an incredibly complex oil in terms of its chemistry. So tell us a little bit more about the esters and.
Well.
Or was that it?
That was kind of it, but Jesse's right. Like there's over 250 constituents to this oil. So some other oils that are extremely complex, like frankincense and others, there's just so many, a broad spectrum of compounds. You can't really target one. But you get that synergistic effect in the entire oil. You bring it all together, and it's amazing for hormonal support, for skin, for hair, and also some emotional support, which we'll get in more details.
So I have to admit that this is also one that I wasn't using very often. We put it in our kids' the nightly pillow spray, which we sometimes forget to use, but it is a great one for calming the mind as well as calming the body and helping to go to sleep and then stay in those deeper levels of sleep. So we mix it in the spray bottle and spray the kids' pillows. And I think it's also in their roller bottle, Sleepy Time blend, isn't it? But this is one that I'd heard at some point, I think it's good for thyroid. So I would have this in my boxes, and this was the one that every now and then I'd walk by and just kind of, do a little hit of it. Or there are a couple other oils that I'm not sure what all they're good for, but they're good for me. And so I'll just walk by and just grab one. But reading about this more, this is definitely one that, especially for women, you're going to want to start using daily. With the linalool and linalool acetate, again, great for emotional health, great for all things calming. So that we're operating on that, those serotonin levels and stuff, and it helps to calm cortisol. And like Dominic said, that it really helps to balance estrogen in the body. And this is something that I am learning a lot about as women's hormones, because one of the reasons that I do not have the Clary Calm blend is because I'm not like a super hormonal woman. You know, I don't have all the PMS, and
I'm so lucky.
Thank you, Lord. I remind him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, I guess, what do hormones do? What do hormones do in our body?
Hormones are part of the chemical signaling of our body. So it's how our brain communicates through chemical pathways. Yeah. And we do consume, usually through our food, through toxins, a lot of xenoestrogens, or we consume too much estrogenic material, like non-organic soybean or soybean oil is notorious for increasing estrogen in the body. Yeah. So your body now needs to somehow manage that and balance it with your own production of estrogen. And even for men, I mean, men do have a small amount of estrogen as well, but really that's where this Clary Sage comes in. Is it helps your body regulate, either upregulate, downregulate, but kind of, you know, you know, like anything, you don't want going up and down and up and down. So anything you can do to help your body stay even keel on a hormonal level is going to lead or calm all that chemical signaling back and forth, and avoid your brain, your emotions doing this.
Yeah, that's what we want about it. We want more even keeled in general. And in that sense, I'm going to transition to, in the emotion book, it talks about Clary Sage, the oil of clarity and vision. Surprise, surprise there. But it helps kind of open you up to new perspectives, or to change, or not be quite so rigid, but be more available to new opportunities, or a little bit more creative. And so in that sense, again, it's one that sort of calms those like dramatic things and goes, okay, let's look at some other options and operate from just a more calm frame of mind, like a more open mind, as it were, instead of a more rigid state.
So a couple notes with Clary Sage, you know, being that it is from a sage herb, you can consume it. You can take Clary Sage internally. You can apply it topically, neat or diluted, and also use it aromatically. So. Yeah,
so it's great in the diffuser at night if you're looking for a blend. Like lavender and Clary Sage pair really well together. In fact, those would be great ones for a bath. So if you're wanting to do like some gifts for everybody, you can make bath bombs or some Epsom salts, and that would be a great way to pair those two together, especially in the evening for just a relaxing soak after a long day.
I mean, what other blends does doTERRA use Clary Sage with?
Actually, the only other blend that it's in at the moment, so the Clary Calm for sure, and let me just say, for women, Clary Calm is one that talks about using during menstruation, particularly to calm the cramping, but also we as women suffer just a lot of things these days. It's mostly from like the xenoestrogen and the products and all the other toxic things in our body. So Clary Calm, which I'm going to need to get after reading more about this, is great for just helping with all things uterine health, menstruation, all the potential problems that can arise. It helps with infertility. And yeah, just kind of all those things that are associated with this region, which affects everything else as women. But it's also in the blend, the Peace blend, which is one of their emotional aromatherapy. So here's the touch roller, or it comes in here so you can put it in the diffuser. And this is one that kind of like it sounds. You know, we all need a little bit more peace and calming. And so Clary Calm is one of the main components in here to just, again, kind of help calm things down a bit.
And if you are using, you know, Clary Sage in your own blend, what I really like about it is being, you know, typically I'm not wild about the flowers, like they're kind of too in my face, but because, like Jesse said, they steam distill this with some of the leaves and the stems, and you get that woody background. This actually isn't a high note oil, so in the blending notes for this is actually more like a middle note oil with actually some bass tones in it. So you know, a lot of the the pairings, like I read that bergamot, being kind of one of those high citrus, but also with a similar middle current to it, those pair really well. So that's actually another suggestion for a bath blend is bergamot and Clary Sage.
Yeah, and just thinking as you're saying, like, I know a lot of people aren't wild about the flowers, and some people love lavender and some people do not like lavender. So that's one of the great things about oils is finding one that works that you enjoy. And so Clary Sage would be a great alternative for somebody who really does not enjoy the scent of lavender as much.
And also for skin issues, a lot of people will use lavender for bug bites or blemishes or cuts, scrapes. Clary Sage is going to do exactly the same thing. It's great for the skin, soothing to the skin.
Great for skin, great for the hair. So as we were reading this and coming across lots of make your own hair products. So it is great for healthy hair, helping recover damaged hair, great for scalp health. So a couple options for that is I found a recipe. You can make your own hairspray, use water, it's a sugar solution, and it's on doTERRA's blog. You can just go to doTERRA and search, make your own hairspray or Clary Sage, and it comes up in there. I know you can kind of dip the ends of your hair in Clary Sage and geranium, so you could add a little bit to whatever you use and kind of to moisten.
And split.
Yeah, so basically whatever hair products you use, you could be making your own shampoo and conditioner, and I would definitely recommend adding it to that. I do a cider vinegar rinse. I take a big bottle and do half cider vinegar and half water, and I add rosemary, peppermint, lavender, and Clary Sage to that to really go for scalp health. So yes, adding it to your beauty care products is a great way to get the benefits.
Awesome.
And then I think we talked about the eye health. So we found a little trick that we were reading that I haven't tried yet, but I'm interested, is that you put a little bit on a warm washcloth and kind of lay it over your eyes, not in your eyes, but over your eyes. Or I might try later. It says it's good for eye, so kind of dabbing it under here and see if it helps.
Kind of that puffiness.
Kind of the puffiness. Good for eye health. Just great for women's things. Oh, let me mention. So Dr. Maritza Snyder has a fabulous, she calls it her Superwoman blend. And this is again just for women. I'm going to make this in a big old roller bottle and use it daily. And I'm going to give you her Superwoman blend. So in a 10 milliliter roller bottle, you're going to want 12 drops of the Clary Sage, 10 drops of lavender, 5 drops of cedarwood, 5 drops of geranium, 4 drops of Ylang Ylang. So you notice again, those are lots of the florals. I think I'm going to add a little bit of frankincense to mine as well. But this is again good for just let's just get through the day. Just set ourselves up well for a good day.
Awesome. And I think there's one more female application that I'll let you talk about.
This can help women who've just had a baby to start milk supply and to increase your milk supply if you're nursing. A small note is that Clary Sage can, can help start labor contractions. So for my friend Callan, we were just talking about, she's like, okay, I need to get this baby going early, so Clary Sage might be one you want to use to induce contractions. Or for women who are having issues of kind of preterm contractions or a little bit too early, Clary Sage is one that you'll want to avoid probably in the later stages of pregnancy, if that's at all a concern.
Yeah, excellent.
And also, what was the little thing you read about infants?
As far as being a sleep aid, using it in like a pillow spray or diffusing in a nightly blend. Infants and toddlers, it tends to not have that kind of effect on them. The chemistry in their body is a little different, and it's really older children and into adolescence that Clary Sage works.
Or adults.
But especially adults, helps
adults
you
for sure.
with, it specifically targets insomnia, so it's those circadian rhythms, which go back to hormones. Hormones drive your internal clock, so to speak, and that circadian rhythm. So an oil that helps with hormonal balance is going to help with that as well.
Yeah. Okay, I think we certainly didn't cover it all because, like Dominic said, this is a very complex oil. So get into it, be using it. It blends really well with a lot of different ones. You're going to want maybe kind of some other woods, some citrus, some of those other herb notes. You can kind of get like an herbal blend going. Like Dominic said, it blends really well with bergamot. I don't know.
Let us know your favorite blends. Get in the comment section. Hopefully this is one that, being a women's thing, y'all will post a lot more of how you're using it to support your daily life and give others ideas.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm so excited for next week because next week we're going to talk about clove.
Yeah.
And clove is an antioxidant powerhouse, so I get to talk about chemistry a little bit more next week.
It's a men's thing?
It'll be more of a men's thing. Bye, y'all.
All right, thank you so much.